Hi everyone, this is Rachel here from the Shades of Orange, and I'm incredibly excited today to announce a project that I've been wanting to do for so long. I don't even know what to call this project. I might call it the BookTube Recommends project. Essentially, way back, I think it was in January or so, Rincey did a video at RinceyReads that was all about a friend of hers that was getting a whole bunch of recommendations for books to read. And Rincey had the challenge of picking out one book to recommend to this friend. And I was completely intrigued by the project because honestly, I just find the idea of recommending a book to someone incredibly interesting because there's a lot to take into account. For me personally, recommending a book is both really rewarding and also challenging at the same time. If I'm going to recommend a book to someone, I always want it to be something that I absolutely love, and at the same time I want to take into account another person's interests and preferences and really find a book that they're also going to love. So I've just ever since then, I've been honestly thinking a lot about the subject. I'll link Rincey's video down below, just if you're interested in checking it out. But what I want to do is basically get a whole bunch of recommendations from other booktubers on what book I should read. And I ended up asking 7 different booktubers and just sent them out basically a simple Goodreads message saying, you know, hey, I want to read a bunch of books recommended by other booktubers. What's the one book I should read? And I kept it really wide open, so I didn't want to give them too many restrictions. I said, as long as I haven't already read it, you can pick anything. And I definitely got a lot of variety. I'm really excited about this project, and a huge thank you to everyone who is involved. I'm going to put everyone's links down below. So if some strange reason you're not subscribed to all 7 of these booktubers, I definitely recommend going to their channels. I think most of them have way more subscribers than I have, but honestly these are 7 booktubers who I love watching their channels. I pretty much click on every video that I see from them, and if you're interested in knowing what kind of booktubers I watch, this gives you a really good idea of 7 booktubers that I really enjoy. So what I'm going to do is just go through all 7 books that have been recommended to me and just share with you what I was told about why they were recommended for me. And then I plan on reading them honestly over the next while. Originally I planned to start this project in January as a resolutions for the new year, but honestly I don't feel like waiting, so I'm probably going to start reading these in October. And you know what, I'll finish when I finish. I'm kind of thinking June next year would be nice, but no pressure. I'll probably read maybe 1 a month until I'm done, and I'll kind of do a wrap up and just see how it goes. I just think it's such a fun project to have other people pick out books for me because there's such a wide variety in the books they selected, and a lot of these books I don't think I ever would have picked up by myself, but that doesn't mean at all that they're bad. I'm actually really excited for all 7 of them, and I can't wait to show you what they picked out. Now the first booktuber who got back to me was Jenny from Adultish Books, and I was really excited to see what she would pick out. And she ended up choosing Reedeming Love by Francine Rivers. I guess this is a Christian historical novel, and she just said it was just excellent and right away knew that she wanted to recommend this one. As far as I can tell, this book is actually quite popular and probably very well known just based off the number of ratings and reviews on Goodreads. However, I'd actually never heard of this book before Jenny recommended it to me. It has a great high rating, seems to be, you know, a very beloved book. I ended up really loving the other historical romance I read this year, Outlanders, so I'm very intrigued to see this one. I understand it's a woman who was abused and then ends up in a relationship and just kind of grows to fall in love with that person. And definitely excited to see more of a mature romance, so it's not just insta love or a young adult book, so very intrigued about this one. I might save it for February, I'm not sure. Now the next person who recommended me a book was Shawn, and his channel is TheOneEnglishGradStudent, and he's probably the newest booktuber to my subscription list. I think I only found his channel back in July, but really enjoy everything that he reads on his channel, and so I was really intrigued to get his perspective. And he suggested a book that I also have never heard of, and that is Bones by Fae Myenne Ng. And what he says, it's about a Chinese-American family who are living in San Francisco. It sounds like there's tension and drama and tragedy. And what he said about it is that it's really short and the way it's written is really interesting. So I'm definitely intrigued. I know that obviously as he's an English grad student himself, so I think he knows a thing or two about good literature, and I'm very excited to pick up that one. Now after that, Andi from EstellasRevenge recommended to me The Sparrow by Mary Russell. I understand this is kind of a literary science fiction book, and definitely intrigued just because while I know virtually nothing about the plot of the book, I know that it was one of Andi's favorites in 2013, and I also remember the title coming up a lot in a podcast that I listened to, which is Books on the Nightstand. I think the female on that podcast, Anne, just adores this book and brings it up whenever she can. So I'm always intrigued whenever a book hits people's like top favorite lists. That those are the books that I really pay attention to, the books that tend to become people's favorites. So really looking forward to that one. I don't read a lot of science fiction, but I've heard it's science fiction for people who don't read science fiction, which definitely intrigues me. I can't wait. Now, just like all these other ones, I'm incredibly excited for the next book. And this was recommended to me by Luke at LukeLaneReads, and that is The Last Werewolf by Glen Duncan. He said that he really enjoyed this one and was trying to pick a book that was a little bit out of my genre. And since I haven't read virtually any horror, he said he really wanted to kind of have me try something different. Super excited about this. As it looks from the title, it is a book about a werewolf, but it's not your typical urban fantasy from what I understand. It's supposed to be quite literary and has actually gotten really good reviews. Again, know nothing about it, but super excited. I don't know. I think I have a really good feeling about this one. I think it might be right in my alley. While I don't tend to love vampires, I really like books about werewolves. I've only read one, I guess, which was Bidden by Kelly Armstrong, but really loved it, and I've been looking for another werewolf book, so this might be perfect. Also, the pages are red, like blood red. How super cool is that? Next, Lisa from My Book World 2 recommended to me Hyperion by Dan Simmons, and this book has gotten a ton of attention on BookTube lately thanks to that recent read-along. And I admit, I'm not good at following read-alongs. I didn't read it, I didn't know much about it, but that book was so beloved. I've never seen so many different booktubers love a book, especially sci-fi, which tends to be a little bit hit or miss. She said it was a great introduction to the genre, and it was one of her favorite books, so she wanted to recommend it to me. So incredibly excited, I can't wait to pick up a copy. After that, I heard back from Rincey at RinceyReads. I was incredibly excited for her selection because she was such an inspiration on starting this whole project. And she spent a little bit of time stalking my Goodreads shelves, which I so appreciate her taking the time to creep through my books and really try to find something specific to my taste. So I'm incredibly excited to pick up the book that she picked out for me, which is The Devil All the Time by Donald Ray Pollock. I guess this is one of her favorite books, and what she told me is that it's, she kind of looked and saw that I like thrillers and picked out something that was kind of dark and twisted, and definitely those are words that always pique my interest with books. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I'm definitely excited to pick this one out, specifically because she did spend a while really looking through my shelves before she gave me a recommendation. So I think this is going to be really tailored to my weird taste for creepy, messed up books. So really excited there. The last book recommended to me was recommended by Susie from ReadSusieReads. And the book she told me to read was actually a young adult book, and that's The Strange and Beautiful Sorrow of Ava Lavender. She said that she's seen this book halts on so many channels, but not a lot of people are reading it. And she said that she adored it and hoped that I would too. So I'm really excited. I don't read a ton of YA, but I love reading the best of YA. So if this is a 5-star book for her, I'm definitely looking forward to trying it for myself. Those are all 7 books that have been picked out for me. I'll be reading those over the next several months. I have no specific order that I'm reading them, so definitely appreciate your feedback. If there's a particular book that I discussed that you think I should read immediately, that you loved, I would love to know your thoughts down below. Also, if you think there's one book that I absolutely have to read and just really want to recommend, do let me know down below. Honestly, I just love getting recommendations, and I always find it intriguing to see what kind of books people pick out for other readers. I think a lot of you know my taste quite well from watching my channel, and just would be curious to see what's the one book that you really think I would love. I'll keep you posted as I progress through these books. Definitely leave a comment down below if you have any thoughts on these books. I'd love to chat more, and talk to y'all soon. Okay, bye.